So this is an application I developed on Replit. It's simply using prompts, no actual coding myself. But the idea I had is essentially I've received medical bills, loved ones have received medical bills that I help out with that are just kind of incomprehensible. There's charges, you don't really know if you're being fairly charged or not, and there's really just not a lot of price transparency as a whole. So what I decided to do was work with Replit to create a application that would actually scan your medical bills and then be able to compare the prices that you're being charged against regional average prices. And so you'll see that it developed a complete home page. It tells you what this kind of application would do, um, and it'll even give you some more kind of marketing material. Obviously, it wasn't complete with some of the iconography and things like that, but of course, I mean, this took me very limited amount of time. If I sat down to refine it quite a bit more, I could get it in a much more pretty place, but this is mostly just a prototype. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll upload a medical bill. This medical bill that I'm uploading is actually a real medical bill for blood tests that were done. They have a CPT code, which is a code that's used in the medical professional world to designate what these types of tests are. You see your test description. The charge amount is the amount before any insurance is added or adjusted to the bill. Our adjustment is obviously after insurance, and then copay, coinsurance, all of these things here are in the patient responsibility. But what I was interested in is seeing this charge amount. If someone is being charged the appropriate amount just from the medical item as it exists pre-insurance, because I know this is a problem with a lot of underinsured or uninsured folks. So we'll go ahead and upload that. And then what's happening here is it's sending this image to ChatGPT for analysis. You can both upload something directly from a desktop or a laptop, but you can also take a picture with your phone and it does the same thing. So it's a pretty cool and complete application that I found pretty useful. So after a little bit of time, you'll see that it went ahead and brought me to this results screen where it tells me what potential savings I might have on the bill and then charges that were verified. So I can go ahead and take a look down and you'll see each one of those charges that I had on my bill is listed out exactly as it was. It brings in the code as well. And then it will say what the regional average is, and then based on what I was charged, it considers this item overpriced. And so if you look through here, it does appear that most things I have are overpriced. I've tried this with many different bills, and there are things that it will turn green and say it's appropriately priced. Some things that are yellow that are kind of within a margin of error and that you can look into, but it seems from what I'm getting here in the data that these things are generally overpriced. It will then come down and give you some recommendations on how you can figure that out with a provider so you can negotiate directly and then just ensure that each thing that you are charged with is actually something that you received. I thought this was a pretty cool prototype. Of course, I think the application is really great. There is certainly enhancements to be made around the data itself. This is coming from ChatGPT, which is using all the data that it has available to it, but I think there's probably more opportunities to get actual data from some kind of database that has healthcare charges. I think also we could get a bit more specific instead of saying something around the regional average, asking a user to input maybe their zip code and see what's more focused in on their local area or state. But overall, very cool use case, very cool application. again, generated extremely quickly using Replit, not having to do much more than making sure that I was implementing the correct keys from OpenAPI, and just, really doing a lot of testing and debugging. I think that was largely the biggest challenge, was just continuing to work with Replit to debug things. But eventually we got here, and I think that's pretty cool thing to be able to do without any true coding ability, as well as being able to kind of find a practical application for a problem that I know exists for myself and for others.